Welcome back, podcast friends, to another interview podcast. And today I'm so happy to have with me, this is AJ VanCamp. And AJ's love for fitness and health started when he was very young. His family was in the medical field and nursing. And from that, they saw daily how our nutrition activity is what keeps us from ailments. And he was an athlete in his youth, and then he competed as an adult. Then all of this led AJ to go ahead and obtain his Bachelor of Science degree in community recreation. And he has certifications in advanced personal training, Hatha Yoga, which I've never heard of, aquatic exercise, and indoor cycling. And now he works with those in need of care to be able to stay at home safely and comfortably with a company called Right to Home. So without any further ado, I'll let AJ explain all this to you. AJ, thank you so much for coming on and being a guest on my show. And first off, I was just curious,
sir.
what is Hatha Yoga?
Hatha Yoga, yes. So there's so many different forms of yoga. It's fun to say because you can say form, but there's also different room temperatures. There's different places you can do this Hatha Yoga. We were just discussing Hatha is how they pronounce, but yeah, it's spelled Hatha. Hatha Yoga, all yoga is based off 26 postures and poses. Any form, any variation, any way you're doing yoga, it all comes from a base of 26 postures and poses. From these 26 postures and poses, there are, some say hundreds, some thousands. There's really endless variations of these 26 postures and poses in yoga. It is a never-ending, never beatable. You can never be the best. You can never always accomplish everything in yoga. There's always something more. Really, to break it down, is deep stretch, lactic acid burn, and core work. You put those three components together, you have yoga. These postures and poses can get you the best way to acclimate every muscle and every muscle group to put those in. I started my journey with yoga. I was an athlete, a professional athlete. My coaches were asking, what's your deep stretch? What's your core work routine? I was going, we have 2-day trainings. What are you asking? What do you want? They said, here you go. My lead coach and other coaches I had gave me first regimen, gave me videos. They gave me different studios to go to, what it did to me physically, what it did to me there's just so many different things people speak of when it comes to yoga. It's the deep stretch, it's the lactic acid burn, and it's the core work. It's physically will change your life. It'll take your recovery time. It'll take your core work. It'll take your even your run. I had runners saying, well, I'm a runner. I don't need my shoulders to be. No, for your full body to have the full range of motion and to increase that full range of motion and increase your core strength will change your life. All the way up to digestive system, changed my life in the digestive system, my sleep and my rhythm. There's so many components. Yes, sir.
Now, is this something that you can only do when you're young, or are you guys actually teaching these to the people that you are actually helping in their own home?
So I teach, I have, I can maybe do it on here. It's a spectrum. You can go from extreme. The spectrum of yoga.
This is mainly a podcast, so a lot of people can't see what you're doing. We will post this on YouTube also, but most people can't see what you're doing.
Right, you can't see my hand motions, but no, we're on a spectrum. You can go from seated chair yoga, doing these postures, these same 26 postures and poses and variations of those, all the way to 120 degree room temp, to extreme in these poses. So It goes from you can be laying in your bed all the way to sweating on a 120-degree mat. There's a spectrum of range for everyone can benefit from a deep stretch, lactic acid burn, and core work, a yoga routine.
Right. And so have you been doing yoga your whole time, or is this something that you were just introduced to here recently after you were doing all the professional training?
Yes. So growing up, that's what I said. I grew up as an athlete. I was 5 years old on those wrestling mats, 10 years old in that boxing ring. I was 18 and had 2 gold gloves. I was 20 and had a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and at 21 as a professional fighter. And from that, my coaches said, "You are doing yoga." I said, "Why?" Well, I don't need. No, I gave it a 6-week trial. By week 4, my life was physically changed. I will forever be yoga. So yogi from 21 on, I was a practice. And it's always a practice. You never master. We practice yoga. And then by 23, I started teaching. I got certified. I studied, certified, and taught. I've taught in several different community centers, several different gyms, and still teaching today in my hometown where I personal train and teach yoga. And I will forever be a yogi. And there's no where to start. I have children's yoga classes. I have geriatric adult classes, and everywhere in between.
That's awesome. And now, have you always been healthy? Have you always been in shape, or did you go through a period where you started getting a little bigger than you wanted to, and you wanted to start losing weight, or how's that happened?
Yes. Right. I did. I grew up an athlete. From literally age 5 on wrestling mats, all the way up through. I was 26 and I had to have 2 major surgeries, and put me down for a year. I was in and out of surgical, and it led to follow-up surgeries. I was out for a year. That post year, and even post 2 years, I got up to 210 pounds, going from walking around 150. I fought at 135, and then all the way to going to 210 pounds. My muscle mass was low. My body fat percentage was really high. I was down bad. It was only determination through love in Christ, determination through family, and love of myself was I able to recover, then able to build my strength and get back to. We speak of all these benefits of health and your cholesterol, your blood pressure, different body fat percentage, all this. I woke up and I didn't feel good. I woke up and I felt bad. I went through the day. I was tired or sluggish. I didn't feel good. I changed. I used what I knew. I trained people myself for years, and I did it with myself. I got accountability buddies. I got people to work with, and I changed my life back to where I was at, back to health and love for my own body. And yes, so when I have clients that are saying, "I don't know if I can get there. I don't know if I can do it," I said, I have so many testimonials of people I've helped and trained. I have the testimonial of my own self, and that's the strongest.
Right. So do you mainly, when you train these people, do you train them only on physical activity, or do you do anything with their nutrition also? Do you feel nutrition is important in their health?
That's it's so. I'm so happy you asked, because It's everything. It's everything when it comes to our body, our mind, where we're getting to when we get to physical activity, but physical strength. What we put, so this is how I address it at the very start, is what we put in is what we get out. That's the bottom line to our health and nutrition. If we put junk into our body, we're going to get junk put out. We're Our function and our ability will drop with what we put in. Unless we put the correct things in, our body won't function the way it's supposed to. It's physiological. It's science. It's not weird unknown things. We have it proven what our body needs and how our body will react. And yes, nutrition is everything.
Yeah. See, and that's what I've been trying to explain to everybody is when you eat, you're not just eating food to fill up a hungry stomach or to handle an emotion or whatever, boredom. You're eating because that is the nutrients your body needs to do everything to heal, grow, thrive, survive. You've got to give it the nutrients. And if you're giving it just crud that has no nutrients whatsoever, you will constantly be hungry because your body doesn't know what you're eating. It just knows that it's not getting the nutrients that it needs. So if it doesn't have the nutrients, it's going to keep you hungry. And when you keep eating all this processed food and everything that's killing everybody, that's the other thing is you're never full. You're just always eating the same stuff. So that's why I was curious, if you change your nutrition after you'd been in the hospital for all those times, and then you started to get back in shape again, did you change your nutrition, or have you always kind of eaten the same way? And if so, what do you tend to eat? What's your nutrition?
Right, correct. So I did, of course, growing up as an athlete and always training. A lot of my training, I had to make weight, but I was excellent. My nutrition was to a professional athlete's level. My coaches, along with the nutritionists we had on our staff for all of us athletes, we ate perfect. We enjoyed it. So through my surgeries, through different things, I lost my nutrition. I started carb loading when I was eating the wrong things, and I was eating too much of the wrong things. It's simple. It's not complex. It's
No.
it's people try to make it so complex, and they call it dieting. It's just our nutrition of what we need. It's not a diet. It's what our body needs.
Right.
So I did. I got you can say however, I got my act together. I found where Christ was leading me in the path that he was leading me, and knowing that I can't testify, I can't bring people to health if I'm not in the health of myself. I can't even function and form in the position and job I'm in now if I'm not in good health. I put my own practice into works and changed my life. I'm very proud to say I've done it. I'm back into the shape that, physique, whatever, that's nothing. I'm back to health.
Right.
I wake up, I feel good. I have energy through the day, and I'm very blessed.
Oh yeah, it feels great, doesn't it? I love having energy out through the day. Everybody's talking about how tired they get around 2:00. It's like, I haven't done that since I changed my nutrition.
I don't do that.
I don't do that anymore. I've got all kinds of energy. Now in talking with you, you said that you are on a blood pressure medication right now, and I was going to have you go into what we really think is going on with that because of some horrible things that's happened with your wife and the stress in your life. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the main reason I want everybody to know this is because stress is horrible on your body. And if you can't come up with figure out a way to minimize your stress, it's going to be horrible on your body. And AJ, this is a perfect example here that he's getting ready to tell you. Okay.
Right. We were speaking of, you even asked, like, not, you asked me unknowing of my story and what was going on. And directly, if I keep, if that's not divine, like that would, if that's not like a crazy, weird coincidence that you asked me a question that's directly happened right now in my life. Um, yes. So this past year, my family, my wife, it's been a very, very, very hard year. Something I also didn't mention through it. So she had 2 back surgeries, an infection in the surgical site. She had a discectomy, lumpectomy. So the recovery for that is tremendously difficult. But with an infection left in the surgical site, I did, and Steve, I may have not mentioned this, but we about lost her. You know, we about lost my wife. She she pushed through with first getting over the infection with our infectious disease doctor, brilliant, saved her life. Then the second thing was recovery from the surgeries. So first was just an infection. That was the only thing we could focus on. We can focus on recovery till we got that. Now,
and that took quite a while to get rid of, right?
Yes, 4 months of a PICC line, IV antibiotics. Had to have a PICC line in her arm, continuous in her arm. Finally, with the right antibiotic, we got it. Prayer, of course, family support. Oh, yes. But Dr. Scara saved her life, and from there, physical therapy. Only then can we start physical therapy. Was she able to start trying to rehab, starting to get strong again? She went from losing with just daily activity, being able to start with her ADLs or activities of daily living, starting to lose weight. She dropped 10 just by being able to walk to the mailbox. Then she started where she could start walking with me, walking our hound dog. We were walking 2 blocks. Then she was walking 6 blocks. Then she was down 20 pounds. Then she was being able to do her exercises for physical therapy. Then she was down 30 pounds. Now she's getting back to work. At the start of the year, she's back full time as a hospice nurse. She's back full time, and now she's down 40 pounds. And it came from activities of daily living and her nutrition. It was directly from being able to eat the right thing. And
I was going to say, because
my daughter.
Yes, and that is fantastic. That is how's your daughter? How old is your daughter?
I always say she's 13 going on 23. She's a young adult now. She's 13 and a wonderful, loving, perfect child, but she's 13 going on 23.
That is wonderful. So now with your wife, since she was basically kind of not really bedfast, but basically bedfast for all those months, and so the weight kept coming on and coming on. When it started coming off, she couldn't do it a lot at first. She was just barely walking, and then getting stronger and stronger and stronger as it goes. So it wasn't activity that caused her weight to come back down, because she lost 40 pounds, right? So would you say that was all her nutrition that was doing that, or was there anything specific that she did with her nutrition?
Yes, nutrition. So we both have the same primary physician. I'm sure he'd be glad for me to say, Dr. Brad Gardner. What he focuses on is our preventative health. Really, he focuses on getting us strong with first our nutrition, second our regimen of exercise, and along with our activities of daily living. But it starts with our nutrition. I'm so thankful for my primary physician, Dr. Brad Gardner, because he saved and changed my life years back, and he saved and changed my wife's life right now. And then people in our community, just over and over, people in my yoga class over and over just praise the knowledge that Dr. Brad Gardner has led them to. And starting with nutrition.
So like what did you do? Did you go by the food pyramid and eat all the grains and rice and oatmeals that they tell us to eat? Or did he come up with some more intelligent information?
Yeah, the pyramid's a scam from what years? It's like 1970s. The government made that pyramid to sell us crap.
I know, and they're still doing it.
And they're still doing it. I don't understand how they get away with what they've done. They've killed America. They've killed us with starting with the food pyramid. What we're putting into our body. Our body doesn't even need a carbohydrate.
No.
And they've told us for 50 years that we need a base of carbohydrates. I don't even understand.
I know, it's ludicrous, isn't it?
No, our bodies. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. They want us to be sick.
Yes, they do.
I think it's
yes,
true.
They do.
I'm not a conspiracy. I'm not. I know. I'm not a conspiracy anything, but I think they want us to be sick. They're making money off of us, billions, trillions.
Yes, they are.
No.
So what did your doctor tell you to eat? What have you and your wife changed in your nutrition that's caused you to lose all the weight you've done and get back into a good, healthy lifestyle?
It's simple. You hear all this. Everything's. It's not a diet. It's just your way you eat.
Exactly.
It's like I'm not dieting to lose weight. I'm dieting to maintain a healthy life. And if I lose weight with it, that's great. If I lose body fat, anyways, it's great. But really, so I always say ketogenic. I cut carbs, cut carbohydrates, high proteins, high fats, cut carbs. Of course, keeping our intake. So some ketogenic will say not to eat your fruits and vegetables because of high sugars, but I do. I will still eat for my vitamins and minerals.
Yep.
I will eat vegetable and fruit. I also have a really high level of activity. But with that, I myself am trying to I shoot for my body weight in grams of protein. Sometimes it gets hard if I'm doing intermittent fasting. That has changed my life, changed everything, how I feel. Is first with my ketogenic diet, second with intermittent fasting, and highly with cutting breakfast. Our body does not need a jump start with a carbohydrate. We don't need that. We need you speak of it, and you're so brilliant of our insulin levels. And but yeah, ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting, and I've never felt better.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of how you and I actually first started talking, was you were wondering about the intermittent fasting because you already knew about the exercise, you knew about nutrition, but you wanted to throw the intermittent fasting in there. And again, just like I said, the whole thing is keeping your insulin levels down. People think that type 2 diabetes is a disease of high blood glucose, and it is not. It's a disease of insulin resistance. It just so happens that's what makes your blood glucose go high when you keep eating carbohydrates. It's kind of a weird thing, but the fact that they're telling everybody that diabetes is a blood glucose problem, they think, oh, well, we can get your blood glucose down with all these medicines, but the medicines work by causing you to produce more insulin, which goes in the exact opposite of what you should be doing, since it's a disease of high insulin levels. And here we give medication to make higher insulin levels. It's kind of so that's why I was excited when you asked about the intermittent fasting, because that was a huge thing for me too. Because just like you said, food companies, they are pushing this, that your breakfast is the whatever they say, the most important meal of the day. Start it right with total oatmeal, orange juice, all the things that are horrible. You shouldn't be putting any of that stuff in your body. And when you start off in the morning, that just sets you up for eating horribly all day long, because your insulin levels are high. You're going to be starving to death all day long. Then you're going to get the down that we were talking about. So it's amazing all the brainwashing that the food companies and drug companies do through all these commercials and everything, and poor people, they don't know, unless you go and study it like you and I are doing, and like thousands of people around are doing. There's more and more people are starting to learn what's really going on and why our health is getting so horrible. And so I'm so glad that you're doing this, and also being able to help these people to be able to stay in their own homes. That is huge that you're able to do that. Is the people that you work for or work with, I mean, do they tend to be elderly, or do they tend to be some other reason why they're physically decreased from what they should be? Who's your typical
yes
client?
Our group, of course, we do have, I don't want to throw percentages out. I'd have to look at our client base, but yes,
just in general.
Yes, sir. I'll check it off. We do work with an elderly base. Our goal is to keep people at home that wouldn't be able to stay at home, wouldn't be able to take those and produce activities of daily living, and they wouldn't be able to do those without some assistance and stay at home by themselves. We keep people at home healthy and comfortable and safe.
That is wonderful. So when you go into a home, what's the first thing? Do you tend to look at what they normally do for their activity, or what they normally eat for their nutrition, or safety in the home, or is there kind of a step process you go through when you go into a home getting ready to help someone out?
Yes. So as the coordinator, I get the privilege. It was something that Ashwin, our owner, has let me really fly with. I excel with. I love doing our first home consultation. With our first home consultation, I get to meet the client. A lot of times I get to meet the client and some of their family that are there, thinking, man, I think our family member really could use some help at home. So this first home consultation, I get to meet them. I get to know them. I get to know, starting even with our basic files, a personal care plan specified for them specifically. So we can't just go in and say, feed Sue, we break it down and we break down all personal care, all the way down through how we shower, how we bathe, how we do teeth, how we do dentures, how we do, then we go through nutrition, where their food is at, where they like to get their food from, how, where, if they like to go with us and pick out food. Then we get intertwined with their physicians, what their physicians want their nutrition plan to be. And we get it all set specifically for each client. And then, of course, then we go through these other activities of daily living of like taking care of a house. Some things that can really be difficult for some, vacuuming. This can be so hard on somebody with lower back. So we of course take care of all of that, but it's really being there for the client to keep them at home, safe, healthy, and loved. Really, we always get to throw out. We have a 5-star company because we hire really good people. The people that just want to love people.
That is wonderful, and I would think it would be for you. I think it'd be just for you like it was me in the hospital. When you see these people, when I see all these people coming in so sick, and they're so obese, and they're young, and they're on all these medications, and it's like, oh my gosh, that is so horrible. And now you're seeing these people later where they can't even do their activities of daily living. And it makes you think that the only thing you can do when you see people like that is say, I don't want to be that way. And so changing things right now. And that's where the yoga and everything, because I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what everything I've read and heard, the biggest thing with elderly is they've lost their strength, they've lost their balance, and they've lost their flexibility. So just little bitty things like walking across the floor, and trip on a rug or going up some stairs, or you trip or whatever. And if you don't have the strength and flexibility to be able to get back and balance, on that foot to keep you up, you're going to go right down. So it's like, it's all important.
Yep.
You do need strength. You do need flexibility. You do need balance. So are there things that people are listening to that may be maybe on their way to being elderly, or they can't do everything they'd really like to do? Is there certain balance or flexibility things that everybody, it's like this, if you don't do anything else, just do this one thing? One thing that I heard was like standing on one leg when you brush your teeth, when you're here, just as far as to get your balance and everything. Yeah. So what kinds of things do you think people could do?
So Google. I mean, not everyone is so tech savvy, but I love to say, I want you to Google the 26 postures and poses. Those 26 you can literally do. You can adjust in a kitchen chair, and start your base in getting these poses with your warrior poses and your balance postures with these 26 postures and poses. And so, of course, resistance training, our body and our muscle must have resistance.
Yes.
There's so many different forms, ways. Our body weight exercise, you can get, first for young people, you can get ripped with body weight exercise. You can tear your body and get jacked. But also with even all the way up to elderly that are up, your body weight exercise can strengthen your body and give you years and years more of activities of daily living that you can sustain through, and you can use your body and not lose your body for years and years more with just simple resistance training and body weight exercise. It's that your muscle must have resistance. It's physical science. Some that say, I do cardio. So yeah, cardio is great. Do your cardio with some resistance training. It's a necessity.
Yep. Oh yeah, resistance training is huge. And for anybody who may not know what resistance training is, that basically just means lift weight. Lift heavy stuff.
Yeah.
And what heavy is whatever heavy is to you. I mean, there are some people that lifting a can of whatever, frozen pea, or a bag of frozen peas or something, that may be all they need. If you're that elderly and your body you haven't been exercising and eating right, but you're wanting to change, even just lifting cans or lifting things around the house, just anything. If you aren't strong enough to lift your own body weight in whatever, and that's where you need somebody, like AJ to come in and show you some good ways to do some exercise with these lighter things. But, and don't try to do it all at once. It's just little tiny bits, just like you were talking about with your wife. I mean, she didn't just all of a sudden jump out of bed and start being the same way she was before the surgeries ever happened. It's little bits at a time. So, so if somebody is really
my wife, that's right.
So what would be a good exercise, some kind of thing that you tend to tell a lot of the elderly people or people who aren't, physically fit the way that they should be? What are some good, easy exercises that you can tell them that they should do?
Drive your heels and squat. Chest behind knees, knees behind toes. If you're not getting that deep, that's okay. But I was with your squat, I want you to drive your heels, wiggle your toes, chest behind knees, knees behind toes. See how low, and get some reps in. Then let's do some presses off the wall. You don't have to get down. Get down and give me 20. No, I want you on the wall doing walk your feet a yard and a half or 2 paces away from the wall, and give me some presses on the wall. Lift your arms to parallel and give me tight arm circles. Anything to feel that burn of we want striated muscle to build.
Right. And be safe. So even like squats, if you're not used to doing squats, and you should,
Right.
leg strength is so important as far as falls, as far as anything.
Mm,
But if you're not used to it,
yeah.
just have a chair, sit on a chair and stand back up, sit on a
Yeah.
chair, stand back up, and maybe slowly start getting to lower and lower chairs. And just like he was saying with the wall, do
Yeah.
your, instead of getting down on the ground and doing your chest presses, just do it on the wall where you're standing up, and just slowly you'll get stronger and stronger. And it's not a race.
Mhm.
It's not a race. As long as you're going in the right direction, keep on doing it. And remember the nutrition always. So how long have you worked
Always.
for this company? How long have you worked for Right at Home?
Working about, I said 3. I'm with almost about 4 years, I believe. That's a really, I must speak of. So when I was in school at Missouri State, I started as a nursing major. Found after 2 years as an aide and 2 years as a nursing major, I wanted to keep people out of the rehab unit that I was working in. I wanted to keep people out. I switched to community recreation, and but through in college, I worked for two big companies of in-home care. Here in Springfield, Missouri. They're great. They're great companies, big companies. I traveled after I graduated, and I when as a father, I was kind of being a kind of a stay-at-home dad. I wanted a job with flexible hours, and I knew of this job, and I worked this job for years. While I was in college, I met Ashwin. He had a posting. Ashwin and his wife Amanda, co-owner, they were love. They were everything I've ever speak of, through my fitness and personal training, through my work with community centers, through my work with in-home care. Ashwin and Amanda were love. They were here not for repping out clients. They were here to love people
That's
and keep them comfortable
huge.
at their home. So I came on as an aide. It wasn't long after, with my degree and things. I started helping in the office as an assistant. Now, years down the road, I'm entrusted with them with a lot of position as a coordinator. I'm entrusted with a lot of different things of like our client intake and our new hire process. Matching the right client with the right aid. And again, I will never stop serving clients. When we need fill or when we get a new client on, I'm the guy. I still, and Ashwin knows, he says, I know you love being in a home, personally caring for somebody. So I get like the best of everything. I never work a day in my life because I'm in love. I get to use my degree with this coordinating. I get to love people with being in their homes. I get to and serve and be under Ashwin. He's a brilliant man, and his wife Amanda they're brilliant people in love. It's wonderful.
That is so cool, and that is so important. And starting with love, gotta love yourself too. If you really love yourself, man, you need to do these things. Take the nutrition, do the activity, get that stuff going. And it's so cool that you said that about you'd be working in the hospital and you realize that you wanted to get them before they came in the hospital, because that's exactly what I did. That's why after working in the hospital for 30 years as a doctor of pharmacy, I was done. It's like I have got to retire early, and now I want to keep people from ever getting in the hospital, not wait till they have all these conditions and then trying to reverse it. That's not the way to do it. I mean, it can be done if it's done the right way, but most people don't know the right way because they don't know nutrition. They never taught nutrition.
Your heart and your philanthropy. So I'm on like the small scale, and you're me on a huge doctorates. You're wonderful. Your philanthropy. I'm like, I'm so blessed to have my side of the care, and I'm so thankful that you would dedicate your life to this, to caring,
Oh,
loving
we all
people.
do. Yeah, it is. It is weird because you're like you said, it's not, you don't go to work anymore. Now everything you do, you love. You're helping people, you're loving people. I feel like I'm actually doing what God. I truly feel this is my God's purpose. Is to help educate people on how to get healthy, how to stay
Yeah.
healthy, how to stay out of the hospital, how to stay out of the medical field. And I love it. And it's really crazy because just like you said, it's so simple. I mean, it's not easy to do because people are so ingrained in the type of foods that they eat. But once you can get them to change their mind and realize that the types of food they're eating is what's getting them in the horrible health conditions they are, once you do that, the hard part is just changing your mind. The simple part is easy.
Yeah.
If God made it, eat it. If man made it, don't eat it. I mean, it's that simple. Either man-made food or God-made food. And man-made food,
Yep.
I mean, it is killing us. I mean, I know why they did it. I know, that they had to do it. They had to feed a lot of people and everything, but they did it the wrong way. They had bad information back then as far as, from saying that fat's what made you fat, and everybody went with it. And now this beast is going so strong, it's not going to turn around. The only way we're going to be able to do it is education. Help people say, hey, just because they're producing all that stuff out there on those grocery shelves does not mean you need to put that in your body, because God's given us everything we need, as he always has, and he always will. Eat real God-made meat, God-made fruit, God-made vegetables, and exercise. Walk. If you don't do anything else, walk. You got to move your body. Yeah. And it's just a place to start. Anyway. So is there any burning information or anything that you really like to tell your clients or anybody as far as health, nutrition, anything like that?
Yeah. Of course, we have physicians, but everyone say exactly what you've spoken of in the past, what you've spoken on when I met you, Wellness for Warriors. It's eating what God gave us. Yeah.
Mhm.
And cutting this process out. This processed food is killing.
Yeah.
I get to spread that with all of our clients. When we are in home, we have a nutrition and meal plan set. Like, we get to help change their life with just that, with just the information that you have been speaking of.
Right.
And it is a simple. If you try to make it complex, it's not.
I know, and it's so hard. What makes it complex, because no other animal in the world has to be told what to eat. That you just know. We all know. And humans were the exact same way. We knew what to eat. We've been doing it since the beginning of time, since we were first created.
Yeah.
Until the Industrial Revolution, and we started making all this processed food. And now the people making the processed food are trying very hard to convince everybody that is the best way. And it is, of course, it's money. Of course, it's money. They don't care about your health. So now they're telling you, oh, this is what's really healthy. And they put it on all the commercials. They put it on the radios. They put it out in publications. They put it everywhere, trying to explain to people why eating their food is so much better than eating the food that we've been eating since the beginning of time. And that's what's crazy. It's so hard for me to sit here and try to, wrote a book, do the podcast, giving talks, and all I'm saying is quit eating man-made food. And that's all I'm saying. And you have to go to all these great lengths because the food companies and drug companies are telling everybody the exact opposite. So now we're having to fight against that. And that's the only hard part. So as soon as somebody makes that switch in their brain, is like, I've been brainwashed to increase the money in somebody else's pocket, and my health is going down. I'm on multiple medications. I'm in the doctors all the time, in the hospitals all the time. Maybe I should quit eating their food and go back to what we've been eating since the beginning of time. And once they make that switch in their brain, it really does. I mean, the weight can start coming off early. The fat can start coming off. Your insulin levels are down. You start feeling better. I mean, it's amazing. And it all starts with a thought. You just got to realize that this food that you're putting in your mouth is damaging. It's actually killing you, and quit doing it. You know, I mean, but it's so easy to say, but it's so hard for people to do. Yeah, just stop.
Right.
But
Well, and I can see the difficulty, with I I I can't remember the last time I got fast food. Like
yeah,
I can't
yeah,
eat when we go out, and even when we go out to a restaurant, I have a harder time eating. Ashwin and I just went out for lunch, and I was able to get a wonderful meal. We got a big omelet with it. It's a
oh
cheese
yeah,
and mushroom omelet. It was great, but
yeah,
it's
and
so
that's all
hard
great.
to eat when you go out. Yeah, but
Well,
it
you
is.
just
It's
you
still
just
it's
have
so
to get
difficult.
creative.
Wait,
That's
right,
why the biggest
right. See, and
one of the biggest things that helped me,
I
because
I
I love hamburgers. I loved hamburger. Everywhere we go, I'd try to get, the biggest hamburger. And I thought, well, now it's going to have to stop. I can't have that. It's like, no, the only thing wrong with that was the bun. If you got
bun.
anything like wings, it's the vegetable and seed oils that they put in it. And then it's the vegetable and seed oils that they make your fries in. So I just say, I'll get the same big old hamburger that I want to have. I'll always order a double patty and just say no bun. And instead of the French
Yep,
fries, just give me some
no
steamed
bun.
broccoli or steamed vegetables. And that one thing makes a huge difference because it doesn't spike your insulin. The whole thing is keeping your insulin level low. But the food is wonderful. Just like you said, a big egg omelet, everything, mushrooms, cheese, the eggs. I mean, everything on there is
Yeah,
healthy. Go for it. Just don't eat the fries and hash browns and
yeah,
all the other stuff they try to serve you with it. Don't do that. But so food really
yep.
can
I
be
set the
taste good. Go ahead.
I set the toast aside and ate a huge omelet. I was proud. Um,
Yep, yep. And you'll feel full for a lot longer when you do it
you
that
can make
way.
it work. Oh, sure. Protein, you feel full for it, right? And then you intermittent fast. And
Yep.
it was so I'm so thankful when we met and we were speaking of intermittent fasting, and you changed my life, Dr. Steve.
Good.
You helped me.
For the
Yeah,
better, I
like
hope.
I've been yes, yes. I've always been a ketogenic. Pretty much carnivore diet, but ketogenic. And you helped me, you guided me to the proper way to intermittent fast. And I, my life, I've already lost myself 15 pounds by not just by nutrition, not even changing my workout regimen. And I feel good. I'm not tired.
Right.
I used to be like a nap taker. I'm not tired. I feel good.
I know. I know. You're so much more productive during the day and you just feel better about
Yes.
yourself. I mean, it just makes you feel better, and which makes you happy, which makes you attract happy people around you. And so everything changes when you start changing yourself for the better. I don't know how to tell people that anymore, but if you don't feel fantastic, health wise, and you're getting tired all the time, maybe you might want to think of look at your nutrition, look at your activity levels, and change them, improve them, because you'll love it when you feel great.
Yeah.
But well, AJ, this has been wonderful. I've really enjoyed getting to meet you, getting to know you, and I'm sure our paths will be crossing in the future. But
Yes,
is
sir.
there any
You've
last
been
thing you'd
great to
like to
me. You've
tell?
been great. I'm thankful. Just meeting you at the Wellness for Warriors. I was attracted to your philanthropy and attracted to uh, the wisdom, the knowledge that you're speaking. So
Yeah.
wait, I've been looking into this. I've been trying to find the right answers for this, and you were giving them because you're versed, you're well known. You're a brilliant man, and I'm excited to be able to just communicate with you and to be here.
Well,
Um,
just like you,
we
we really want to
love what
help
we're
others.
doing.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. We love it.
we love what we're
So
doing here with right at home. Well, we're loving people and spreading love. It's great.
good deal. And that's what we want to get more people doing. And the easiest way to love others is to love yourself, and it'll just shine. So love
Yeah.
yourself, take care of yourself, take care of your body, give it the nutrients it needs and give it the activity it needs to enjoy a life. And AJ, thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really do appreciate it. And for the listeners out there, once again, thank you so much for listening and have a great week. And remember, make simple, healthy choices to live a quality life.